All right, good morning, folks. Got Jaylen Reed here for you all. If you guys would use the raise hand function on Zoom, and we will get to questions for Jaylen. Go ahead, Rich Scarcella.
Thanks, Matt. Good morning, Jaylen. How are you today?
Good morning. How you doing? I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good. How would you describe the difference in the secondary between this year and last year?
One thing I would say for sure right now, we have more depth than we had in the past years. So it provides us a variety of formations we can use and packages that we can use to create against other teams to cause problems.
Seth Engel.
Hey, Jaylen, thanks for doing this. When we talked to James on Monday, he specifically shouted out the defense and said that statistically, you guys were better this year than you were against West Virginia last year. Is that due to depth alone, or what are some of the areas that you saw really stand out in this time around compared to last?
It wasn't really a specific area that stood out to me. Me personally, I just think we was very disciplined in a lot of ways, except for some of the post-snap, pre-snap penalties. But besides that, I feel like we was pretty sticky in coverage, good in zone coverage, and I feel like we did our job. And I feel like that is how the outcome went.
Audrey Snyder.
Hey, Jaylen, thanks for your time this morning. One of the things yesterday that AJ Harris told us was that a bunch of you guys in the secondary went to Houston in the summer, kind of like a training trip, and got some work in there.
Yeah.
How did that, I guess, what stood out to you about that trip? Why did you guys want to do it, and who kind of organized it?
We went out on this, I think, a break that we had. We just wanted to get some extra work in with one of our trainers, and that was just something. It was more of a bonding experience, it creates chemistry, when you put the work in together, and it all translates to the field like it did on Saturday. And I think we all started it. So
Daniel Gallen.
Appreciate your time this morning, Jaylen.
For sure.
What can you tell us about Jalen Kimber? He got the start at corner, and he's someone who's new to the program this year. What did he do during camp to earn that position?
I think Jaylen Kimber, he's a cool, calm, and collected type of guy. He really don't say too much. And I say for him to earn that position, I feel like he was very consistent. Out of the room we have, it's a lot of guys that could have came in there and started this camp. I mean, this season. But I feel like they're gonna be rotating still. But Jaylen did a great job of staying consistent in the whole camp, being great at man coverage, which is something we run a lot. And that's just something that's probably stood out to Coach T. And that, from my perspective, just his consistency, his experience, his vet stuff that he brings to the table is just a great thing for our defense.
Johnny McGonigal.
Hey, Jaylen, thanks for your time. Much appreciated.
For sure.
How would you describe your mindset personally going into that West Virginia game? Because, you're all over the field, throughout the game, but really specifically the first couple drives, in the first quarter, it seemed like you were kind of playing with your hair on fire.
You said what was my mindset?
Yeah. What was your approach going into that game?
Honestly, is what I'm gonna make the world feel me. 'Cause I feel like sometimes sometimes I don't get the recognition I deserve, but it's okay. I feel like sometimes that's just how everybody's journey goes, and I'm gonna keep playing like that every game. I just feel like I got this chip on the shoulder, and I feel like I got something to prove. So that was my mindset.
Joe Smeltzer.
Hey, Jaylen, thanks for the time.
For sure.
So, not to look too far ahead, but with you being a senior and looking to be in the NFL next season, what are some things that you're working on not only to help Penn State this year, but to also help yourself personally get ready for the next level?
Maturity and having a routine, and I feel like that's something that's important, especially going into the next level. Having a routine, a day-to-day routine, and making sure you're staying on top of the main things and keeping the main things, and staying off of social media as much as is possible. I'm logged out of Twitter right now. That's something I feel like that's helping me a lot and not making me get distracted on things that's not the main goal. Stuff like that.
Tyler Donahue.
Thank you, Jaylen. I hope you're doing well. I apologize if you already asked about this, but curious what you've seen from Dewan Lane. I'm sorry, Dejan Lane. Got to get his pronunciation down. The freshman safety. We know he's got the green light status. Got a little bit of work on defense. What do you think he can do for this team, and what do you think his future looks like?
Dejan gonna be a real good player, you know. Dejan is just young; he's still learning out there. But you know, as the talent is, his talent is there. The athleticism is there. I feel like he's gonna play a huge role on special teams this year, contribute to the defense. You know, as long as he keep doing what he's doing and keep putting the work in and put his head down, he's gonna be okay in this room. You know, he got a lot of guys to look up to in this room. Me, KJ, and Zaki. You know, it's a lot of role models and examples to look after. As long as he keep doing what he's doing, he'll be great here.
Rich Scarcella.
Jaylen, yesterday, AJ Harris had a lot of nice things to say about you. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to say something about him. What are your impressions of him so far?
On the field, basically, I think of AJ Harris as a complete corner. You know, he's one of them corners. Like he's one of them guys on the team that you can't keep off the field. You know, he can do everything at the position. You know, he can run, he can tackle, he can cover, and it's just one. It's just rare to have somebody that can do every component to what it becomes being a corner. You know, and having a guy like that on your defense help you play harder. You know, it gives me confidence when I'm in the game with him. You know that he's going to do his job to the best of his ability.
All right, folks, we'll do 3 more questions. Audrey Snyder, Daniel Gallen, then Joel Haas. Go ahead, Audrey.
Jaylen, AJ was telling us yesterday too that he said before the game he was pretty nervous and that he kind of turned to you. Do you remember anything about what you told him to maybe calm him down or what he was like before y'all took the field?
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
AJ Harris said that before the game Saturday he was really nervous and that he kind of looked to you to calm him down. Do you remember what you said or what you did or what maybe he was like before you all took the field?
No, I didn't know he was that nervous. I didn't know that, but he was like, you know, it was his first game starting. You know, he didn't play that much at Georgia, but he definitely, you know, I just told him one thing, like, but we put the work in for all of this stuff, man. Like when they did this the whole off season, man, just go out there and be yourself. It's the main thing I was telling him because I know he got the talent, he got everything you need. You know, it just he got to prove the world now.
Daniel Gallen.
Jaylen, what has that been like for you to step into that kind of role where you're talking to your teammates like that and to know that someone like AJ is looking to you in that way where, you know, you are a positive presence out there. What has that been like for you to become that kind of player?
It's been a great thing, you know, when you grow up, you know, in this program in college football, you know, when you start to get looked at like that, you know, it gives you happiness, you know. And you know, I work hard to get to this position I'm in, and I'm not nowhere near for the end of my goal. But you know, just to have people to look at me when it's time to go to war, when it's time to go to play football, and you know, and somebody to lean on it as me, you know, I take that personally, you know, and I'm gonna keep doing that every single day, and hope everybody can do the same thing.
Joel Haas, last question.
Hey, Jaylen, thanks for doing this. Now that you've gotten to play a game with Tom Allen as defensive coordinator, I was just wondering, what's his personality like during the game? What are, you know, the things that he does throughout the game? Is he kind of more calm or more fired up, or what's his personality like?
Coach Allen is more calm, you know, he's not that more of a hype up type of coach. You know, he's more calm in a way, but at the same time, he can still get on you at any given moment. But you know, it's a great thing, you know, to have him on the sideline. You know, he's more of just the defensive coordinator, you know, so he just overlooks everything, and he does a great job of keeping everybody calm and keep everybody in composure when adversity hits. So he does a great job of that, and we practice them situations all camp.
Awesome. Thanks, folks. Thanks, Jaylen.